welcome back to another video. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you all about financial freedom and some of the little things we can do to start our journey and start our way onto achieving that. So if that's something you think you want to hear about today, please stick around. Okay, let's get right into it. I did another video that I dropped. It was about the Fed retirement and how the changes are going about, and there's a little bit of promise in there, and how they're pulling back on some of those proposals that were made early on. Towards the end, I did kind of talk a little bit about this subject about it was going to a car dealership, but that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. I had to go back to the car dealership, y'all, because in my other video, I talked about how I had to take it in to get it serviced. Something was going on with my brakes. They were vibrating. So I had to take it in. They fixed it, but then I still feel like the problem hasn't been fixed because I still feel the vibration. So I took it back in today as I'm recording this video. And of course, they can't find anything wrong with it. They said they don't see anything. So I just told them, okay, well, I'm just going to keep bringing it back because, you know, there's clearly, when you stop, it doesn't come to a complete smooth stop like it should. There's some play in the wheel and there's some vibration. But anyway, I'm not a mechanic, so I have to take their word for it. But the point of the story is, while I was there, of course, they're trying to sell you a new car, right? And I told you I was proud of myself. I didn't buy a new car. I was tempted. Just like going back in, I didn't want to go back in, so I was tempted again, you know, looking at all the cars and everything. And, you know, they see you looking at the cars. And so, because I was bored, so I didn't want to wait in the service area. I don't know if you're like me, I'm fidgety. I don't like sitting down. And plus, there was a lot of people, so I'm walking around looking at the cars. So when you do that, you know, the salespeople are going to approach you. So the car that I was looking at, it was like 2025. I just don't like what they've done to, because it's the same model as my car, but because my car is 2019. Little backstory, I bought my car brand new, y'all, but 6 years ago, okay? This is before I was on YouTube, before I knew about financial freedom and, you know, making good sound decisions, right? So I bought my car. I was one of those, you know, you buy a new car every so many years or whatever. Wasn't thinking about it. So that's why I just wanted to tell you all that. I did buy my car brand new, but it's 2019, so it's what, 6 years old, okay? So my old self would have bought another new one by now. But my new self, because I'm on YouTube and I'm trying to give you all advice and I'm listening to some of the advice that I see on here, my new self is saying, no, don't do it. You're trying to achieve financial freedom. You want to retire, don't do it. But it doesn't hurt to look, right? So I was looking at the new cars and, you know, I love the new car smell and all this. But the model car that I have, the brand new version of it, the 2025 version of it, I just don't like it. I don't like the changes they've made. It looks, I don't know, I just don't like it. It's just not aesthetically pleasing to me. I just don't like it. So here I am trying to talk myself into liking it. Then they told me to get a used car. So I'm like, okay, you know, a year old, that wouldn't be too bad, right? And, you know, listening to our YouTube advice and my YouTube advice and some of the other financial people out there, they say, you know, get a car that's already used. You know, it's already, you know, depreciated. You know, somebody else has already taken the hit. Yada, yada, yada. But y'all, I'm looking at these older cars and like some of them, like not even, I don't know what month in 2024 they bought the car, but let's say for argument's sake, 12 months ago. They're in worse shape than mine as far as the wear and tear. Like the inside, you know, it had scratches, it smelled like cigarette smoke. And, you know, I don't know if you guys are like me, but I try to take very good care of my car. You know, I always try to, even though it may not always look super, super clean, or it always smells nice, I don't smoke. And I do try to keep it clean. So I wasn't having it. It already has some miles on it, like 9,000 miles, which I guess that's low miles. I don't know. To me, it's not. I was a fan of it. The mileage didn't bother me as much as the wear and tear on the car. I just wasn't a fan, right? So then they try to show me another one. And I'm looking and I'm like, these cars are pretty beat up, for a year-old car for 2024. And I wasn't feeling it. So I wasn't feeling those either. And, of course, they're trying to sell you on it. And then another thing I've noticed too, y'all, with these newer vehicles, to include the 1-year-old models, they are putting cheap stuff in them. They're putting cheap stuff in them. They're cutting corners, to cut costs. And they're upping the price. That's what I'm seeing. And so certain features and things you're asking for, like I like leather seats. That's just me. I want leather seats. I have leather seats. I've always had leather seats. Not always, but since I've been buying a certain type of vehicle, I've always had leather seats. So I know how the leather wears. And I am, I'm all about the, save the environment, animal cruelty and that kind of thing. I'm all for that. But with the leather that you put in the vehicles, those that gets recycled, right? So we're not just using it one time and then tossing it out, right? Those cars are getting recycled, they're getting resold, so they're getting their wear and their use, out of them. So I don't feel so bad about that part. But that's what they try to sell me on. They try to say, oh, it's bad for the environment, cruelty to animals and all that, which again, I understand all that. But that's not the real reason, y'all. They're just trying to cut corners, they're trying to cut costs, and then they want to up the price because that way their profit margin stays really, really large, right? So that's what they're doing. I mean, I'm not dumb, right? So that's what they're doing. And so that's why they're saying most people now, they're not getting cars with the leather. That's because they don't know. They see this fake leather that you guys are putting in the car and, they think it's the real deal. Most people, I don't know, a lot of people don't know and they don't care. Maybe they don't care. I don't know. I care. And plus this new material that they're using, I'm like, I don't know how that material is going to wear. Is it going to peel off? If my dog gets in the car and scratch it, or my cat or something, I don't have a cat. But if I get an animal that gets in the car and it scratch it, like, how is it going to hold up? I don't know. So, I wasn't a fan. So, and the more and more they were sitting there telling me this stuff and, they went and ran the numbers and all this, and I'm looking at the money and I just wasn't in love with it. And I'm like, I just can't do it. And the reason mainly is because I get on here and tell you all about don't buy a new car, don't buy stuff. And I'm like, I got to take my own advice, right? Plus I'm trying to retire. I'm like, I don't want no more bills. I don't need no more bills. And I'm like, I'm going to be at the house, when I do retire, whenever that's going to be, hopefully in the near future. I'm going to be in the house most of the day anyway, y'all. I'm going to be on here doing YouTube videos. So what do I need? A brand new car or almost new car, with all this stuff. And I'm not going to be driving it. So that sealed the deal for me. And I was just like, I'm going home. Yeah. I'm sorry, I had a text. I was looking down, but I was like, okay, give my key. I'm going home. Like, I don't need this stuff. But I just want to let you guys know I was tempted. You guys would be proud of me because the old me would have been like, all right, what do I sign? Sign me up. And I would have just been buying it just because it's new. And, that's not a good reason to go into debt. I mean, I got inside the brand new one, the 2025 one. Yes, I loved it. It smelled new. It looked nice. It was awesome. I loved it, but I just didn't like the exterior of it. I just didn't like it. It looked like a station wagon to me. It looked like grandma's car, but I am a grandma, but I don't want to drive a grandma car. So that's just me. But yeah, I was just proud of myself because I've been getting on here. I've been learning a lot, talking to you all. And I just took my own advice, and that's all I could hear in the back of my head. I heard myself talking on my channel, don't do this and don't do that. And I'm like, I got to take my own advice. So I had to pass that deal up, and I'm proud. I'm good. I'm good what I got. Hopefully it'll last me a while through this whole financial. I don't know if I totally be financial. I don't know if I have financial freedom, but hopefully I will attain that someday. And so my journey to get there, hopefully that would help. So that's all I got, y'all. That's all I got on that. I mean, I could talk a little bit more, but I don't want to keep y'all too long. And I'll just probably do another video about some other things that I saw this weekend on YouTube, about finances and stuff like that. But thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like this video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.